Okay, guys, I think we are live. Just going to adjust the camera. Just going to wait for a bit, obviously, let everyone join in. Just going to give it a couple of minutes. Let's get that light changed slightly, I think, as well. Guys, got a couple of people joining. Jamie, David. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound all right? Mark, how you doing? If someone just lets me know if the sound is all good for you guys, that would be greatly appreciated. David said yes, thank you. Jamie, got a few people piling in. We're doing, you know, I'm just going to turn this light down slightly up here, guys, because this light is a bit powerful. Give me 1 second. Is that a little better? Didn't really make much difference. Oh, look at it. We got the man himself in the chat already. Mr. Mark Curtin, he's joined too. Good man. Mark's probably got a video going live this evening. Or has it already gone live? I've not checked my YouTube in the last hour or so. He normally has a Sunday video. How we doing? Lots of people in there. Let me just say a few hellos. Who we got? Jamie, David, Mark, Ed, other Mark, Darren, Trevor, Martin's in there. Everyone good? Hope everyone's all right. I tried to make the time kind of sort of about as good as we could for you know, to do this kind of thing. I figured 8 o'clock in the evening on a Sunday is probably obviously okay for the UK guys, but hopefully at least if you guys elsewhere, you might be able to get it sort of morning time or you know, we've got a few shot some street photos yesterday, says Ed. There's another Mark. We've got a few different Marks in the chat now. Cheers, guys. Nothing too fancy. Great Fanta on the go for me here. Sugar-free, of course. Nice. We've got a few people from my Facebook group joining in, which is good to see. Awesome. Obviously, fairly used to chatting online with some of you guys. See a few in there. Darren, Trevor, Rob, Steve. Good. Cool. Right. So look, let's start chatting. Hey. So we got Trevor's shooting Sunderland again on Tuesday night. Nice one, Trevor. Awesome. That's good, man. Sunderland again, hey? Man, great stuff. You're getting more regular football than I am, man. You're doing all right. I've done a couple of under 23s games. I did in fact, I tell you what, you guys who follow me on Instagram, you might have seen this. I did Fulham under 23s away to Aston Villa at Aston Villa training ground on Friday night. And it was so cold, right? Where they play their games, the pitch is kind of on the edge of the training ground, and then you've just kind of got fields. So it was really, really cold. Plus there was quite a thick fog coming through. So it was making everything damp. So anything that then got damp was then freezing because it was so cold. So I literally had like a layer of frost building on my laptop, on my lens, on my case. It was a nightmare. My laptop started packing up. It was, oh God, it was horrendous, guys. It was horrendous. Awful. Then I shot some basketball last night, so I'll tell you what, it was good. It was good to be indoors. It was good to be indoors. So we got Mark saying, did you watch any of the BBL games? Actually, no. Sunday nights I tend to be watching the NFL, so I've been watching NFL Red Zone first couple of hours of that just now, and now obviously here with you guys. So yeah, doing that, which is good. I was at the BBL game last night. Did Surrey versus Worcester last night, which is good. Surrey just got the win, fairly last minute. So it was a real close game right down to the end, which was cool. Rich is saying at Bodymoor Heath. Yeah, Rich, it was Bodymoor Heath training ground, the Villa training ground. Only a few minutes from you. Cool, man. Cool. David shooting Spartans women v Glasgow City football next Sunday. Nice, man. Cool. Awesome. It was a class game. Oh, Mark, you obviously watched that game. Yeah, nice. Cool, man. Yeah, it was. It was a good game. It was good. It was, well, I say that it was good. Surrey didn't play great. Like, the coach Creon was pretty mad with them. Was pretty mad with them afterwards. But yeah, it was a good game in the end that they got the they got the win. Mark, good to be back doing the Giants on Friday. Yeah, man, cool. Yeah. I know you're up there shooting the Giants. Awesome. What's Mark saying? Try a puppy warming pad and pop it under the lap. It can help. Heat up in the microwave before you go and last for the game. Man, that's a good idea. I've never had that before, so that's a decent shout. That okay? All right, man. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm going. I feel like I should write that down. I'm gonna do that. I like that. Giants media is class this season. Yeah, man, you know what? There's a few BBL teams doing some good stuff with their media now. I think, there's quite a few of them have realised they've got to step up their online presence with the fact they can't have the fans there. Obviously, I know I'm a bit biased, but actually, I think Surrey are doing an amazing job of it, and I can't claim to be a part of that. The video and the live broadcast isn't anything to do with me. So the guys who are doing that have done an amazing job. It's really good, actually. I'm well impressed with it myself. But lots of teams are as well. I saw some Giants doing good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was good. Stanislav, how you doing, man? Obviously, you've been around a few of the videos. We edited one of your photos, I think, right? In one of the videos, if I recall. Cannot wait for Saturday. Get back shooting some football. Only a local non-league game, though. Man, it doesn't matter. Nothing bad with that at all. Look, like I said, I've been shooting under 23s and stuff like that, right? I've not been shooting anything anything big, as they would say. No Premier League or Championship or anything like that. So no, it's all good. Flyers, Scorchers, and Riders. Cool. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, some real good stuff online from those teams. Definitely. Yeah, totally agree. Good memory. Yeah, Stanislav. I try to remember everybody. I sometimes, like, when I see people commenting and stuff, I can't necessarily remember like exactly what messages we had back and forth. But I'm pretty good, man. I try and remember. I try and remember everybody as best I can. So look, I guess with this video, this live stream, not really anything sort of set planned for it. I just thought I'd kind of chat to you guys, really, see what we got going on. Any kind of questions, if people want to answer them, they absolutely can. I'll try my best to answer everything that we've got going on. Let me just see what we've got going on up here. Cool. Okay. Nice. Just making sure that we've got everybody in. Just fire some questions. Just going to quickly check on the settings, make sure that we are good. Cool. Okay. Yeah, we're all good. Perfect. I lost it. I turned off the screen for a second, so I've lost the comments. Don't worry, guys. I'm right with you. I've just got to go back to to where I can see the chat, see what questions we've got coming in. Here we go. Okay. Right, what's Trevor saying? The EBAC Northern League hasn't started, so no games for... Oh, okay, no games for Redcar. Yeah, cool. Mark, Tom Bonnet's the best in the game. Yeah, Tom Bonnet's a good guy, man. He's only a young guy, too. Man, I talk like I'm an old man saying that, but he's only, like, just 21, I think. So, yeah, he's doing a great job for the media over there in Surrey. They've actually, they've been lucky. They've had some great guys and girls working in the media over the last couple of years over there. But yeah, Tom's a really good guy. He's doing a decent job of that. Mark, is Malapi okay? Yeah, man, it seems totally fine, actually. I was a bit worried about it. I got home and just kind of whacked it in the bag, really, just to make sure it was kind of, sort of stayed warm. And I don't know about you, but when I've been out really in the cold and shooting, I tend to kind of let all my stuff acclimatize afterwards. I'm a little bit worried about, like, fungus and moisture in the lens and stuff like that, but left everything out, left my laptop to dry, and then left it in the bag overnight so it could kind of warm up thoroughly. And it seems all totally fine. I'm on it right now. I've got the comments on it here, so yeah, we're all good. Mark saying, did you go to uni for photography? No, man. You know what? I didn't start photography kind of properly until um God, well, so 2012 really. So yeah, quite late on. You know, I was in sort of my late 20s, well, nearly 30 really. So no, man, I didn't study it at all. I'm entirely, well, no, I'm like 50% self-taught and 50% learning from other people, YouTube, funnily enough, all that kind of stuff. So no, man, I didn't study photography at all. Ed saying, what's your favorite sport to photograph? But you know, I like shooting all different sports, man. But if I had to choose one, I would say it's basketball, mainly because it's the one I kind of started out with. That's kind of the first sport that I sort of did professionally, so to speak, which is weird in the UK. It's normally football people start off with, but I did basketball first. And plus, I believe it or not, I know I don't look like a like an athlete, but I played basketball all through school, university, everything. So basketball's kind of my game. So that's my favorite one to shoot, 100%. There we go. Which okay, Stanislav saying, is he going to be? It's going to be my first time sending live trial for a photo agency. Hope all will go well. Any tips? So, man, God, we could probably talk the whole live stream on tips for that. Basically, don't worry. Just chill out. Make sure you're all set up like way in advance. Get there early. You know, test your laptop, your photo mechanic, whatever it is you're using. Get everything set up early doors. Test it, you know, kind of sit at home and practice, get your memory card, your laptop, test it all works, make sure you're happy. And then when you get to the game, don't panic, just chill out, do what you practiced, and man, you'll be totally cool. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Rob saying, following up on your R6 videos, how have you found it in practice so far? Cool. Okay. Have you used it with the 1DX primary, secondary? Cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, I've been using it loads. Um, so look, in summary, I'm really enjoying it. I've got to say, I'm seriously thinking about switching my 1DX to a second R6 and just kind of going all in and going mirrorless from this point on. I haven't quite done that yet, and I'm not gonna jump to do that too quick because I want to make sure I do it, you know, at the right time and maybe when I'm a little bit busier as well. But yeah, man, loving it so far. So for football, I've been tending to use it on my long lens and then my 1DX on my 70 to 200. It sounds silly, but one of the main reasons for that is because I haven't got a grip for it yet. And I find when I'm on my 70 to 200 without a grip, it's a bit awkward to use because I'm kind of turning it over to shoot portrait. Whereas, of course, with the 1DX, you've got the two different handles. So I've been using it a lot on my long lens for football, which is obviously also, you know, that's where you probably get the majority of shots on your long lens for football, but then I suppose what I would call the more important shots that tend to be like your goals and your celebrations and stuff like that tend to come from the 70 to 200. So yeah, loving it so far. Used it last night for the basketball. It's awesome indoors. I've been playing with the electronic shutter a lot, and I've used it for a lot of stuff. But when it's come to actual games so far, I've been shooting on the mechanical shutter. Not because I don't trust the electronic shutter, just because I suppose I want to give it another full-on test out at like practice events and training sessions and stuff like that before we get too far into actually kind of using it sort of full on just on the electronic shutter. So a lot of manual shutter so far. But yeah, it's, you know, it's good. Yeah, really loving it. Really loving it. Mark was saying, yeah, dining room table is, yeah, dining room table was always covered in kit after a cold or wet game. Yeah, man, absolutely. I did so. So kind of where our living room is, we've got like our living room and sort of dining room is all one. It's just like a, you know, it's not a big room, right? So by my dining table, I laid it all out on the floor. Trouble is, I've got Jake, who's only small. In fact, he turns a week old in like 10 days. And the trouble is he'll get in there and terrorize all that, right? So first thing in the morning, I had to get it all packed back up again and cleaned off, getting it all ready to go. Right, what are the questions that we got here? So I think I missed a couple up here. So let me just scroll back slightly. Oh, helps with battery performance. Yeah, man, the cold kills your batteries, right? That's I've definitely noticed. especially the actual camera batteries as well. I don't know if ever you guys have your camera out in the cold that much, but it's crazy the difference. Using just your regular camera in the freezing cold versus the warm. Like I can go to a basketball game indoors with the 1DX, for example, and the battery bar just won't have moved. It's showing like it's still full. Obviously, it's not still full, but it shows like it is. I go shoot a game outside in the freezing cold. The battery's like half dead by the end of the game. It's crazy how much cold just eats the batteries. Really does. David saying, for basketball, would you ever use a longer lens than the 70-200? Yeah, I have done, Ben. I have done. I don't tend to. So like normally for me with basketball, two camera bodies. One is the 70-200 and one is my 24-70. Sometimes I'll switch that 24-70 to my real wide angle, my 17-40 in my case. And I'll sit right under the basket with some real like wide angle shots. But I have before, like especially when I'm working with a team that I shoot all the time, I need to try to kind of expand like the portfolio as much as I can, right? And get them as many like different types of photographs. So I will sometimes whack on my 300 and go along the side of the court, like opposite where the benches are. It gives me a chance to kind of get in on some details, like on the coach or the bench, like reacting and stuff like that, which I do. So sometimes I would, but not not much really. It depends. I don't tend too much. Like most of a basketball game, the 200 or the 70-200 is as long as I would go for basketball. And even that, I'm not using it at 200 very often. Sometimes, like, again for coaches or benches or reactions, stuff like that. But I don't tend to shoot down court much with basketball. A lot of people do. They'll try and shoot like the defensive end as well. I rarely get any good photos from that. I just tend to not. So like I'd say 90% of my photos are the near end of the court. I don't shoot down court too much. I tend to shoot the play when it's in my half of the court, which obviously with basketball is like all the time. It's not like football. Sometimes you get unlucky with football. You don't have anything in your half for 10 minutes. With basketball, that's never the case, right? The ball is in your half of the court. Every 20 seconds. Well, 24 seconds at least would be the most with the shot clock, pretty much. God, man, I'm gonna lose my voice talking too much here. Right, cool. KB saying, okay, which viewfinder? Cool. Which is better for sports photography? Trying to figure out whether to buy the 1DX or the R6. In terms of like the viewfinder, I don't really think it makes that much difference for the sports. I mean, it's funny using both. So when you're paired with an R6 and a 1DX, it's funny because you're looking through your R6, and of course, the picture you're seeing is the actual exposure that you're taking the photos at. When of course, when you look through the 1DX, you're seeing the light as it is, and that throws you off quite a bit because sometimes I would look through my R6, see that brighter exposure, and then quickly switch to my 1DX. And I have on a couple of occasions been caught out, like thinking something's not working or it's turned off because you're looking through the R6. You see that bright exposure, switch quickly to the 1DX and it looks dark through the viewfinder and you think, oh God, like it's turned off. And of course it's not, it's just that difference in the exposure you're looking at. So that's a bit weird. I've actually got I've started to make, I've done a couple of little bits comparing the 1DX with the R6, but I'm going to do a full 1DX versus R6 video, which I've started working on a little bit. It's not ready yet, but it will be fairly soon, hopefully. Hopefully you'll find that one good. It all depends what you want, right? I think, the decision to buy an R6 is part of I guess, a calculated decision to start moving towards mirrorless at some point. Whereas I'm not necessarily sort of fully committed to mirrorless at this stage. That will be my plan at some point to move towards it. You can get some used 1DX for really great price right now if you get out there on eBay and MPB and those kind of places. So, you probably get more for your money with the 1DX right now, a used one anyway. But I do love the R6 so far, so it's a tough decision, KB. Stanislav, nice to be shooting indoor in cold and wet. Oh man, yeah. God, it's so nice to be shooting indoors when it's freezing cold. I've got to say, there are games where I'll be driving to a basketball game, pouring down with rain outside my car window, and I'm smiling to myself thinking, oh, thank you that I'm shooting indoors today compared to some of that horrendous weather that I end up shooting football in sometimes. God dear. I hate shooting in the rain. I've said it enough in my videos, right? I hate shooting in the rain. I really do. The actual process of taking photos in the rain is not so bad if you got decent wet weather gear. It's more the working in the rain, like the laptop and stuff like that. It's just horrible, horrible, man. I hate it. I hate it. Martin, anyone got any advice on getting work with an agency? Not desperate as shooting non-league and other sports currently. Last time I contacted one, they said they'd only accept a 1DX and not a 7D. Okay. Yeah, man. Some will, like some of the bigger agencies would certainly want a certain level of gear, which, yeah, look, I get is a bit funny because an amazing photographer could take a 7D or something older than that and still get amazing photos. But I suppose they're doing it because it gives them some level of guarantee that somebody is serious about what they're doing or that someone knows what they're doing, I suppose. Look, I mean, the advice is just do exactly what you're doing. Shoot that non-league, shoot those other sports, get yourself as good a portfolio together as you can, and then go and start touting it around some agencies, right? My first job shooting with an agency, I was using 7D2s. I had two 7D Mark IIs the first time I shot for an agency. So, in fact, I can't remember if they actually asked me what gear I was using. That was basketball, though, and I was already fairly kind of, I don't know about experienced, but I was fairly kind of involved in basketball photography at that time. So I suppose they wanted me to go photograph basketball for them. They'd already seen my work and knew that I could shoot basketball. So I suppose it was less of an issue. The agency that I'm working with now, so they certainly talked to me about gear when I signed up with them. Asked me what gear I was going to be shooting with, definitely. Mark saying, I'm thinking my next game going to the top of the stands because there's no spectators with the 300. Going to try and get some top-down images for 1/4. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to 1/4 of the game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can get some, especially with basketball, you can get some cool images from higher up. I've shot some images, especially where if you can get yourself higher than the rim, so you're kind of looking down into the rim. I find that's quite cool. I set a remote up once actually doing that at the copper box. I set, funny enough, 300 mil up in the top of the stands, looking down onto the basket. I got some quite cool photos from that. It works well with basketball. You can get some actual top-down photos. Those look incredible in basketball. You see them from the NBA and stuff. Obviously, I've never shot a venue where I've been able to do that just yet. But yeah, that's crazy. Mark saying, are you planning on purchasing any RF lenses? So yeah, man, I will. I think if it definitely if I switch to having two R6s, then I suppose at that point I'll commit that any future lens purchases would be RF lenses. But I've got to say, I'm well impressed with how well the EF lenses work. Like, I mean, they're flawless basically with the adapter. So I'm not in a rush, but I think I've looked at the 70-200. It's supposed to be really good. The push-pull zoom throws me off a bit. I find that weird. I just don't know if I'd like that. But at the same time, I've got the 24-70, which is a push-pull zoom. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly worried about that. But if I upgrade my 70 to 200, then I probably would look at the RF one. My 70 to 200 is quite old. It's the IS Mark One, so it's a fairly old lens actually. Still great though, decent. But if I upgraded that, I'd probably look at the RF lens. There's lots of talk at the moment that there's loads of rumors that Canon are going to make a mirrorless version of the 1DX coming out next year. And there's also rumors with that they're going to put out a 300 and 400 f2.8. I saw one forum, I think it was, that was predicting that lens, the 400-8 RF, is going to be something like 11 grand. I mean, that is crazy money, right? £11,000 for a lens. So I probably won't rush out and buy that one. Let's just say that. Not unless I want to get divorced anyway, which I'm not planning on. Right. What's Jamie saying? I want to get into photographing basketball. Okay, man. Do you think it would be a good idea to just try and get in contact with my local BBL club, or is there no chance? No, Jamie, there's no chance. The problem is right now there's probably no chance because it's so restricted on who can go in there and who can be in and around the team, and you have to be part of like a bubble. Like I don't know what Mark will say it's like with the Giants, but with Surrey, like I have to be part of a bubble. So I have to do health questionnaires and all my temperature checks and all that kind of stuff. They only let me go certain areas. Like I'm not allowed down by the changing rooms or any of that kind of stuff, which I normally would be allowed to do because I shoot for the team. And the number of people actually in the venue is limited. But I would say, I mean, man, look, if you can't get in with BBL, because you do have to have accreditation to get with the BBL, if you contact teams, sometimes they let people go. And I know some teams are do that a little bit easier than certain teams, but I don't know where your local team is, by the way, man. But look, look at some of the National League teams, some of the Division One teams. There are some really good Division One teams out there now. Which will be a great level of basketball for you to go photograph until you build that portfolio. But just man, keep shooting. Don't be put off by it, right? Donald saying, do you find prime? Hey, Donald, by the way, I don't think I said hello to you yet, man. How do I find prime lenses, e.g. 300 is limiting to shoot basketball? Are zooms best, especially if affordability is a huge factor? I suppose that's more of a question for like photographing sports in general, really, with zooms. I think I don't necessarily find primes limiting. I mean, when I first started photographing basketball, I shot loads of it on the 50mm f1.8, the Nifty 50 lens. That was mainly because I was using a 7D Mark One, and I needed to not have those ISO levels too high, so I needed a real low f-stop. So I was shooting like f2.0. So I shot loads of mine on a 50mm prime, which I found to be great. Something like a 300 is restricted for basketball just because it's too long. You couldn't shoot anything in the nearest half of the court with a 300. Well, unless you were right down the other end. If you stood further back, you could, of course. But yeah, I find zooms, I mean, look, I love primes. But I don't tend to shoot much basketball with a prime. In fact, one of the guys I work with shoots a lot of it with an 85mm prime. In fact, he shoots loads of basketball with an 85mm prime, and gets some amazing shots with that. So you could, nothing wrong with it at all. Jamie saying, I would photograph grassroots basketball, but there's none going on at the moment. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, man, there's not. I play grassroots basketball, and nope, it's not going on at the moment, unfortunately. I saw that you only have to contact the club now instead of the BBL. Yeah, you do. So right now, to get accreditation with the BBL, you have to shoot through shoot through the team, but because of that, basically it's only the club photographer or press photographers, which you don't get too much of with the BBL right now. Yeah, it's quite limited at the moment, man. It is at the moment. Okay. Rich is saying, I'm pretty much novice football photographer. Cool, man. Okay. with the Canon 800D, Canon 55 to 250. Yeah, man, I had one of those 55 250, the ISSTM lens. Yeah, man, that was a lovely lens. I really liked that. I shot loads of stuff with that lens. Thinking of upgrading gear to get a Canon. Cool. Yeah, man, that would definitely be your next step, I think, right? If you, because yeah, in fact, I can see in your next thing you've said how you struggle with the 4.5 to 5.6. So yeah, look, anyone who wants to get into photographing sports at any kind of level, at 100%, a 70 to 200 f2.8 is an awesome investment. And in fact, for photography in general, pretty much like, you know, if someone was to say, I'm only ever going to buy two lenses for photography and I'll never buy another lens again. Which two should I buy? I'd say the 24-70 and the 70 to 200, because then that gives you everything from 24 to 200 mil, f2.8, good in low light, great investment. You can't go far wrong with that one. Jamie said, thanks for answering my question, man. Of course, I'm going to try to answer everyone's questions if we can. We've only got, I say only, we've got 20 people watching, which is great. Man, it's awesome, and thank you very much to all of you guys. In fact, tell you what, guys, do me a favor. Could you hit the like button for me? We've only had 2 people hit that like button so far, so if you guys could whack that like button for me real quick. I don't know how it works with a live stream, whether it like promotes it further. I don't know. With a video it does, so it's so you guys must get annoyed with me and if in fact, man, a load of you have pressed it. Thank you guys. So with me and every other YouTuber, we always ask you to press the like button, right? The reason we do that is because basically it helps the YouTube algorithm. So you can imagine at any one time, YouTube has millions of videos, right? And hundreds of thousands of people all putting their videos online at every given minute. And basically what it does is it registers how many views a video gets. And then it also looks at the likes. So, you know, if you get 5,000 people watch a video and 10 people press the like button, they might think, whoa, that obviously wasn't a very good video. Whereas the more people who press the like button, the more that kind of almost says to YouTube, hey, YouTube, like this guy's video is all right. So maybe you should share it with other people and maybe you should recommend it more. Helps our videos to be more successful, which is why we always ask you to do it. So thank you guys for doing it. I appreciate it. Cool, right, we got Mark saying, oh, Mark saying about Cubs in Manchester. Yeah, cool, man. Nice one, Mark. So Lewis, sorry, man, if I said it wrong. I'm gonna guess it's Louis. Did you see the new Canon R1 rumored? Yeah, man, that's the one I'm saying. So it's gonna be the 1DX of mirrorless. Yeah, that seems to be the rumor, right? I think that would be cool. Is interesting though, because they've kind of, because I mean, look, my view is that the R6 is right up there with the 1DX. So it'll be interesting to see how that R1 fits into the lineup, I suppose, because you kind of feel like they've almost butchered their own market with the R6, because you have to assume an R1 is going to be like £4,000 or £5,000, whereas of course the R6 is only like 2.5, something like that. So it'd be interesting to see how it fits in. I mean, I'm sure it's going to have, you know, a few bits, probably the capability to plug LAN cables straight into it and stuff like that is something which certainly is a difference with the R6. You can get Wi-Fi adapters and stuff, of course, but that's one big thing missing from the R6 compared to a 1DX. If you're going to work professionally, is being able to plug a LAN cable straight into it. It's a silly thing. Well, no, it's not a silly thing. It's quite a big thing if you do it. A fair bit. Rich is saying, oh, you like it too, that lens? Yeah, man, 100%. That 7200 is hand down best way to go. Just thinking whether to improve lens or body first. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Well, look, if someone asks me which is more important, the lens or the body, I always say the lens, purely because the lens will do a lot of the work. Plus, the lens is an investment going forward. So you could change your camera body 3-4 times. Chances are you'll be using that same lens, and a decent lens is going to last you 10 years or something at least. A camera body is not going to last you 10 years. So, you know, I always think the lens is the more important of the two. Oh, Martin's then saying, oh yeah, the f4. Yeah, man, that f4 lens is supposed to be decent too, right? The you know, especially if you're struggling with low light and that's an important thing to you, then that f2.8 becomes quite a big factor. But the f4 is awesome too, absolutely. Louis saying, oh yeah, that's probably the other thing that an R1 will have. So the R6 is 18 meg. Oh no, 20, 18. Oh man, I've forgotten off the top of my head. But it's about 18 to 20 megapixels. So I imagine an R1 is probably going to be bigger. Like the R5 is like 45 or something crazy megapixels. The EOS R was 45, so maybe the R1's going to be something bigger, like yeah, like 30, 40, something like that. I would imagine it probably will be. Rich is saying, cheers, Martin. You can get a 7200 for, yeah, you probably can. You could probably get one for about £900. Yeah, used, yeah, but nothing wrong with that. Started local league, women's side. Yeah, nice, man. Good for you. Awesome. Rich, oh, Rich is doing it. Rich is going for it. 70 to 200. Rich is out there on eBay right now. He's getting it. Man, good for you, man. Good for you. Donald, I use a Canon 70D for shooting basketball. Okay, yeah, 7 frames per second. Always miss that for, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, for me, so I used to have a 7D and then I bought a 7D Mark II. And for me, the 7D to the 7D Mark II was a massive change, massive change. If you're shooting a 70D, they've just brought out the 90D, which basically the release of the 90D is kind of why there's not going to be a 7D Mark III, because I think Canon decided they had two crop bodies that were nearly the same. And so to kind of carry on with that, there was a 70D, then an 80D, and a 90D to carry on with that series, rather than the 7D series. Because I think the 90D is best part of 10 frames per second. I think. Louis asking about the RF glass again. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, so look, I kind of touched on that with Mark's question earlier, right? The EF lens is really good. Like I'm well impressed with it. And you know, in terms of how well it works versus the kind of what using the adapter, it's incredible. I really find them good. I you know, no problems at all. You know, really good. So I can't say I've got any complaints about the EF lens. It seems to work flawlessly with the R6 on the adapter. So I wouldn't buy RF glass because I'm not happy with the EF ones. I would buy it because I think going forwards, future investments in lenses probably make sense for me to look at the RF for certain ones anyway. Like if I go out and buy a new 400mm, which I might be in the not so distant future, I'm not going to be looking to get the RF version of that when that comes out, because I think that's going to be some crazy money, which will be out my price range. Rich is doing it. I've enjoyed shooting women's team more yet. More sense of teamwork. Okay, man. Yeah, I've shot some women's football, man. I've really enjoyed it actually. I shot women's. I was lucky enough to shoot the England women's team. I shot England ladies against Australia. I did. Then that was at Craven Cottage, where I shoot quite a lot anyway. And then I shot England ladies against Spain. I did that. That was over in Swindon. I did that game. Yeah, really enjoyed it, man. Some great. In fact, I got a frame that I'm really pleased with. In fact, it was in my portfolio up till recently of a goal celebration from the England ladies team. Yeah, photo I really enjoyed. LS Media. Hey, man. How we doing? You right? What's up, Rob? Man, I'm just going to adjust that light slightly, guys. I feel like it's like shining off my head up there. Man, stick questions in there, guys. Fire some questions in. I'm going to try and answer them all. Let me just quickly adjust this light slightly. Okay. Cool. In fact, it's in the picture now, isn't it? Yeah, that'll do. Adjust the camera slightly. There we go. Cool. Right. Jamie, to you and the people in the comments. Yeah, man. Look, guys, chat amongst yourselves as well. Please feel free. Another question. Has anyone got any experience using SmugMug? No, I don't personally. I don't know if anyone else does. But in fact, yeah, I can see people are coming in now saying they've used it. So my website used to be with Zenfolio. I very recently changed my website over to be something much more simple. So it kind of links with partly. So partly I use my website now for my sports photos and partly just for my YouTube stuff. So it's still the same website, just robsamblesphotography.com, but I moved it from Zenfolio to Squarespace. Zenfolio renewal came up. The price was sort of, not expensive, but I noticed Squarespace had a deal and it was going to make out much cheaper. Plus, I'd seen every YouTuber under the sun talking about Squarespace, as I'm sure you guys have too. And I thought, you know what, I'll go check it out. Went and checked it, really enjoyed it. The kind of system you use for like making your website I found to be quite good, quite user friendly with Squarespace. So I sound like I'm a Squarespace advert myself now. I'm not sponsored by Squarespace, but I made my website, my new one, with Squarespace. Right, what else we got? Martin, shoot lots of women's sport. Nice, man, yeah. A slightly slower pace, not being sexist. Don't worry, man. It's all right. I know what you mean. Wayne, hey Wayne, how you doing? Have you ever shot cricket? No, man. You know what? I haven't. I've never shot cricket. So there's a guy who I chat to quite a bit, John Mallet. He's not. I don't think he's not with us in the comments right now, but he's in our Facebook group that we're in. And he shoots a lot of cricket. I keep saying to him, I've got to go and try and shoot some cricket, but I haven't got round to it yet. So no, man, I haven't, but I want to. I will at some point. Trevor, have you ever done horse racing? No, man. You know what? It's another one I've never done. Never done horse racing. No. I know a few people have. In fact, I know Mark's done horse racing before. I've seen him chatting about it, but no, I've never done horse racing. In fact, actually, no, I say that, man. Was it Mark who was chatting about horse racing? I can't remember. No, I feel like it was. What else we got? Rich, yeah, the difference in the pace of the game is quite a lot. Makes it a bit easier to learn. Yeah. Mark saying, not sure if I missed it. Do you have the eyepiece playing back your frames? Oh, okay. No, but I turned that off. No, so in the viewfinder, in the mirrorless cameras, you can. Those of you guys who don't know, with the electronic viewfinder in the camera, you can basically turn it so that the menu and everything that on the back of your screen is in the viewfinder. And I turn off the image review in the viewfinder when I'm shooting games, purely because I don't want to get in the way. So I just have it on the back of the camera. I have the eye sensor turned off so that when you look at the back of the camera, it doesn't automatically move the menu, and I have the image review in there turned off as well. So I don't tend to really use that at all. No, I just review the images on the back of the camera when it's time to. Mark saying, oh, cool. Oh man, you use it for sending your images. Cool, man. Yeah. SmugMug. I've never really looked at it, but no, I know about it. Yeah. Cool. We got Simon. How we doing, Simon? Have you ever seen the new Apple Mac? Sorry, have you seen the new Apple Mac Mini M1? Looks great. Cool, man. Yeah. No, you know what? So funny enough, I was looking at laptops over the course of this weekend. Especially to kind of consider something new, and I've always used PCs and stuff, and I've never used Apple Macs, but obviously they're the go-to for like so many people in the photography video world, right? But no, I've never really used them. Speaking of Apple Macs, is someone jumping in the chat? It's Tony Hart. How we doing, Tony? All good? So you guys in the chat, so basically like 90% of I talked earlier about where I learned photography, right? I learned loads of it from Tony Hart right here in the chat. Tony's a wedding photographer, by the way. Ellis Media, only issue with SmugMug is he makes the cost of sale pretty expensive. Oh, okay, right. Cool. I see what you're saying. Martin, I've been using Zenfolio for years now. Don't actually update it much. You're looking to Squarespace. Yeah, man, check out Squarespace. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I enjoyed using Squarespace. Seemed fairly straightforward to use. Absolutely. LS Media or Rob possibly may end up at Surrey this season. Cool, man. Okay. What, as in shooting a game at Surrey? Man, nice. Martin, cricket's great to shoot. Lots of chances to get the shots. Yeah, man. I imagine it would be. Yeah, absolutely. Brendan, how you doing? I shoot lots of volleyball. Have you ever tried? Yeah, man, I've shot volleyball a couple of times. Yeah, I do a few things with universities where I end up shooting all different sports, and yeah, I've shot quite a lot of volleyball actually. It's tough to get photos of. For me, I either tend to sit level with the net, like looking sideways on and get some wider shots, or I've tried to go somewhere a bit higher up, so I'm like peeking over the top of the net, shooting the players on the far side. It tends to be my angles with volleyball, but I quite enjoy it. Martin, would recommend it. Not a cricket fan, but love shooting it. Cool, man. Yeah, very long day. Yeah, cricket's a long old sport, right? Absolutely. Martin, sorry, Mark saying, yeah, okay, yeah, Mark has covered horse racing. Cool, it's great. Yeah, so I've seen people setting up like remote cameras under fences and stuff with horse racing. Yeah, you get some awesome shots with remote cameras, right? I've seen people have them like right in by the fences before, like yeah, crazy shots. Wayne saying about the T20 cricket, yeah, that's a bit easier to shoot, right? A bit shorter. What's Tony saying? Have you found any caveats with the R6 talking about the viewfinder stuff? I feel it's actually entirely off. Oh yeah, good question. So yeah, so what Tony's talking about? So you guys again who aren't familiar with the R6 and the R5, I assume is the same. The back screen is basically always on. And when when you've got the camera just in front of you, the viewfinder is basically playing on the back of the camera. Then when you go to the eyepiece, it automatically switches so you can see it through the viewfinder. And can you turn it off? I've tried, but no, I haven't been able to turn it off yet, man. I've turned off the touch screen because I found my big old nose was messing with the autofocus points and stuff on the screen, and that was annoying the hell out of me. So I've turned off the touch screen. When I shoot games, when I'm doing video, I tend to have the touch screen turned on because when the screen's facing towards me, I can play around with it. So that's quite cool. But now I have the touch screen turned off. Trevor's saying, uh, yes, I'm sorry, I'm reading Tony's comment again. So yeah, to only have it turn on for image review and menus, that's what I'd like. I wish you could, but I haven't worked out how to do it yet. You'd think you can, but if you can, I've not worked it out yet. So I hope so. Trevor's saying, I use an Apple Mac Mini iCore 7. It's great, very fast. Use Blackmagic Graphics Accelerator. Cool, man. Okay, you've said a whole lot of stuff I don't understand right there. So, but I'm sure that's good, man. You know it's funny because when it comes to cameras and lenses and stuff, I'm fairly technical, right? Like I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about, but when it comes to computers, man, I'm rubbish. I just don't know what I'm talking about. So I've been trawling through different laptops and stuff lately to see what I can get hold of. Michael, hey Michael, how you doing? Saying about, oh sorry, Tony saying loving the channel, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Michael, Apple computers are twice the cost, but keep it 5 times as long. Yeah, that from what I've seen, friends who use them, and from what I've seen, I think that's probably about right. Yeah, they seem to last a real long time, and people sell used like MacBooks and stuff for like a decent price, right? Seem to really hold their value. LS Media got in touch with Tom Bonnet. Might be to get it. Oh, okay, cool, man. Awesome, man. That's good. That's good. Brendan, usually down on the attack line. Love to see a video on volleyball. Cool, man. Okay, yeah, I could do a video on volleyball. I don't know when I'm next due to shoot any because all the university sports events are off right now, right? But yeah, man, if I can, I'll try and shoot. I'll try and do a video on basketball. Jamie, what would be your dream sport to photograph? Um, I don't know if I've got a dream sport to photograph. I mean, there's events I'd love to, right? Like I'd love to do like a, people say, what event would you love to do? I'd love to do a World Cup final, obviously. NBA finals game would be crazy, but obviously those are sports that I've shot before. So an actual new sport, I don't know. There's a few. Yeah, I'd like to maybe some of the like Olympic sports. I've never really shot athletics and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. Well, obviously shooting actual Olympics would be amazing, but I mean maybe some of the sports that go into them. Some of the different track and field events. Haven't really had much chance to shoot those yet. Tony saying same experience you having with the R5. Yeah, okay, okay. I was thinking about yeah, it would save the battery life if you could get that screen to turn on and off, right? Definitely, man. Martin, got to go. Cool, Martin, man, thank you. You might have gone already, so sorry if I missed you. Hopefully, if you're watching this again later, you'll see me saying goodbye. Donald, when shooting sports, I would imagine you come back hundreds and thousands of images. Uh, yeah, yes and no. I don't. I'm not that. I'm certainly not as trigger happy as I used to be. I tend to be fairly selective. Some sports photographers are absolutely machine gunning left, right, and center. I tend to be a bit more selective. I don't shoot like needlessly. But yeah, sometimes with big events, you do, your image count does get into the thousands with some of the bigger events. What criteria do you use for keeping and discarding? Well, look, really, it all comes down to, is it sharp and in focus? Is the image something nice that I want? If I've got loads of images that are similar, I might get rid of some which I don't think are the best ones. What are the musts? Well, really, I mean, I suppose the only must is that it's in focus, and that the exposure is at a level that you can recover it well enough in editing, or that it's right in the first place. But I think the main things for me, I mean, I've done videos on what makes a good sports photo, right? For me, the best ones, you got faces, you got people, you haven't chopped off limbs like hands and feet and stuff like that. You got the ball in the shot. Those are the things that will make an image something that I would count to use. Those are the main things. David, has anybody used the Loupedeck before? Would you recommend? I'm looking at Loupedeck Live. Loupedeck Live. Okay, cool, man. I haven't myself, but plenty of people have, right? Plenty of people have. Trevor, laptop on site is a MacBook Pro, which yes, expensive, but they do last. Yeah, and of course, the compatibility with other Apple products, yeah, absolutely. So funny enough, you know what? I don't have any Apple products. We used to, as a family, we used to have an iPad. That's a really old one, which basically doesn't work anymore. And now we've got like a Samsung tablet, is our like household tablet. Connor my boy used to have an iPhone, but he's actually, funny enough, he just changed over to a Samsung. So we actually don't really have any Apple products, which is crazy, I know, for a modern day household, but we don't. University content comes back in January. Cool, man. Yeah, hopefully it will. Won't count on anything just yet, right? But hopefully it will. Michael, can you set up the R6 to directly adjust shutter, aperture, and ISL in manual mode? To no manual mode. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, you can. So you have three dials on it basically. It's not near enough for me to grab, but yeah, you've got three dials on it. So I have the shutter speed on the dial by the shutter button. I have the aperture on the dial on the back. Then there's like a third dial on the top at the back, which is my ISO. So yeah, I can do all three just with my fingers without looking or going into menus or anything like that. Tony, the M1 Max are mind bending. Yeah, man, I've heard I've heard you say they're great, but I've heard people say that they're awesome. Yeah. M1 MacBook Air, I'm about to get for 900 quid. It's a powerful. Oh wow. Cool, man. Really, 900 quid. That's a decent price, eh? Maybe I should be looking at a MacBook for my next laptop purchase. Here's a question. Do you ever get nervous? Oh yeah, man, 100%. Yeah, for the bigger games I do. Yeah, definitely. Some of the big games, like when you turn up to shoot, like some of the stuff, like the first time I shot England and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I was proper nervous, like just worried I wouldn't do a good enough job, really. Because as soon as you get to a stage where somebody, like an agency or whatever, is relying on you getting those good photos, you get nervous, right? And I would imagine nothing like a wedding photographer, for example, does, because people are really relying on you. But yeah, man, I definitely, and I suppose I just cracked on and did what I did. Even after it was all said and done, I was nervous, like, oh, what will people think of the photos? Were they good enough? And you kind of get feedback, and people tell you you've done a good job, and you kind of grow from there. But yeah, I suppose so, right? I suppose so. So funny enough, I've just joined up with a new agency now, and I've not done a job for them yet. But when I do, I'll be thinking, oh God, like, will I do a good enough job? I hope it'll be all right. So yeah, man, I get nervous all the time. And the why, just man, just because I'm nervous that I won't do the job well enough, or something will go wrong, my laptop will stop working, something like that. Jamie, have you ever been attracted to photograph boxing or UFC? Man, I've never done it. Never done boxing. Never done UFC. You know what? I know a man in his 30s to say, well, I don't really like UFC or boxing, man. Honestly, I don't. Never really been into like fighting sports, so I've never had a real desire to photograph them. No, no, look, I see some amazing sports photos coming from those sports, but I've never shot them myself. And I probably, don't get me wrong, if someone offered me a big job to do one, I wouldn't turn it down, but I wouldn't be in a rush to go shoot those kind of events, if I'm honest with you. The BBL Trophy final, I shot around 2,000 images. Yeah, some of those big events, man, definitely get into the thousands. I certainly have as well. I think I need to find that video about what makes a good. Oh yeah, man, I've done a few videos like that. Yeah, go check out loads of my videos. I talk about what makes a good sports photo, Donald. Go check those out. Wayne, in a weekend of shooting Australian rules football, 6 games in 2 days, I normally shoot 5,000. Yeah, man, that's awesome. 5,000 images in 2 days. Daniel, would you recommend using a tablet or iPad to edit while pitch side? I never have myself. I suppose it depends if you can get the functionality. Like if you can get the full functionality from an iPad to caption and edit and then send and everything, then yeah, cool. Like why not? But I don't know if you could. Plus you couldn't plug a LAN cable direct into an iPad, right? Which if you want to shoot direct from the camera, you would want to do that. Oh yeah, of course. Tony uses a Loupedeck. Yeah. There you go. There you go, David. Advice from someone who uses one. I've heard boxing is hard to photograph. Trevor's saying, yeah, probably would be. I think, yeah, it probably would be. I guess to get the right angle on it, and if you're lower, you're shooting through the ropes and all stuff like that. So yeah, it probably would be quite a tough one to shoot, right? Louis, do you have the battery group for the R6? No, not yet. I don't, man. I don't have one yet. Mainly because it's like another 200 quid or something crazy. So no, I haven't got it yet. I will do. I will do at some point. I might see if there's a third party one. I know half of you guys are probably frowning at me in the chat for saying third party, but I had for my 7D2, I had a Neewer, however you say it, grip for that, and it was awesome. Worked flawlessly, functionality fine. Worked with my Canon batteries, so yeah. If something like that comes out, I might get it, but if not, yeah, I probably will get the actual battery grip for the R6 because it makes quite a big difference, especially for basketball. Michael's saying that's amazing, Ari, the shutter and aperture ISO. Okay, cool. May seem like a simple question. No, of course not. It's all good. My Nikon, have to hold the ISO button and spill the command wheel. Oh yeah. You have to do that with. In fact, you have to do that with. In fact, do I have to do that with 1DX? I definitely had to with my 7D2. Michael's saying thanks for the input. Hope all is good and safe over there. Yeah, all good, man. Safe, safe. I don't know. Yeah, man, we're doing okay. We're surviving, right? Long live the tier system. Starting in a few days. Jamie, it's supposed hard to keep up with emotions. Yeah, cool. Alan, hey Alan, how you doing, man? Do you need public liability insurance to photograph grassroots football? Is it taking it out just to be safe? Thank Liverpool Business Houses League. Cool. Whether or not you have to is a slightly different question, because no, for a lot of you probably don't have to. So look, I've had liability insurance since I first started photographing any kind of serious sports, mainly just to protect myself. Even the most basic level of basketball that I went to shoot wanted me to have liability insurance, but I basically always have. Mainly because when I first insured all my camera gear, they offered me a package that included liability insurance, so that's why I got it to start with. But I've always had it for any kind of photographing events. And actually now, when I shoot Premier League, I have to have £5 million liability insurance. Fortunately, you don't have to pay £5 million to get it, but I'm covered for up to that amount. Boxing, yeah, Dickie Pelham, yeah, well, yeah. So you guys who don't know Dickie Pelham, he's one of the best, widest known sports photographers in the UK, and yeah, he does shoot a lot of boxing. I think he's like first in line for all the Anthony Joshua fights and stuff like that. So man, he does a lot of boxing. Yeah, check him out on Instagram or something. He's awesome. Do you find it difficult to balance action content with capturing emotion? Not really. I tend to shoot what's in front of me. So if there's an emotional moment, I try and get it. If there's action, I try and get that. The biggest thing with emotion is keep your eyes on stuff that's away from the court or the field as well. Managers, players on the benches, stuff like that. And especially after moments happen. Sometimes when a goal goes in, or there's a big basket scored, you capture it, you get the celebration, and then the temptation is to did I get the image and look on my camera? Keep following the action for another few seconds, a few minutes, right? Because sometimes you get extra emotion after the event, or you could have a defender looking upset or maybe devastated if they've just lost the game. So keep looking out and you'll find those emotional shots. Trevor, I've done images over social media from an iPad. Okay, cool, man. Photo mechanic. Oh, okay. So photo mechanic's not available for an iPad, then that's a big thing. That would stop me altogether. Daniel had a third-party grip. Oh wow, and it messed up your camera. Oh, okay. All right, that's interesting. Simon, what do you use to keep your laptop dry? So technically it's not a rain cover. I use the Think Tank sunscreen thing, which is designed to keep sun off your laptop. But I use that and I spray some like waterproof spray on it as well, so it's extra waterproof. I find that does the job nicely for me. Keeps my laptop dry when I need to. Trevor, Dickie Pelham's book is amazing. Yeah, man, absolutely. Brendan, what are you drinking? So Brendan, if you've seen any of my live streams in the past, you know. So this is Fanta Zero grape flavor. I love it, man. It's lovely. Tastes good. It's an acquired taste, apparently, the grape. So says Mrs. Sambles, but I like it. What's we got? Daniel, I'll message the story of the battery grip. Yeah, cool, man. Okay, yeah, let me know. It sounds serious. Man, I'm sorry it messed up your camera. Jeez. Oh. Right, what's we got? I chose the battery grip for my R5 because if battery is lower than 60%, the frames per second will drop. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, makes sense, man. Makes sense. Yeah. I apologize, man. I'm not even going to embarrass myself by trying to pronounce your name, but thank you for telling us about that, man. Nice. Great flavor. Yeah, man, it's good. If you guys have not tried Fanta grape flavor, try it out. I'm telling you right now, it will change your life. It might not change your life. Trevor's got to go. Cool, and no worries. In fact, guys, I've realised we've been going for an hour, so we probably will round off in just a second anyway. I was going to retire it last Christmas anyway. Cool. So yeah, look, guys, I probably will just about round it off. Round it off there. So look, guys, thank you so much for joining in. Really awesome to chat. I think I can save this so it stays as a video. So if you had questions that I didn't get to, please go and stick them in the comments when that's live, and I will come back to you. Comment on another video. Make sure you hit the like button on this live stream before you go. I'd appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe if any of you guys haven't subscribed. I know pretty much all of you, I recognize the names have subscribed, but if you haven't, do me a favor, go hit that subscribe button. Steve's off to watch the Saints Broncos game. Man, apparently they've got no quarterbacks, right? The Broncos, I've heard, so that'd be an interesting one. Cheers, guys. If you fancy being involved in these kind of things more often, go check out our Facebook group. Some of the guys in the chat here, Steve, Trevor, those guys are in our Facebook group. Any of my videos, if you link into the Patreon link, you can go find out about the Facebook group if you want to be a part of that. We do live streams in there every month. Those are always good fun, and it's great to chat to everybody. Guys, thanks very much. Tony. Oh, man, it's a nice landing name. Awesome. Nice one. Mark. Cheers, Mark. Go check out Mark's videos. I'm sure he's got one coming tonight, or maybe already has. I'll go check it out in a minute. David, Steve, Mark, Alan, Brendan, Jamie. Cheers, guys. Wayne, cheers from down under. Oh, cool, man. I've got to go to man, fair play to you. Thank you. Early morning over there, right? Nice one. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really enjoyed it. I'll catch up with you guys on a video real soon. Cheers, guys.